I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I agonize over that too. Honestly, I do. Where do I start? Where do I start when it comes to writing a safe work document? And you know what? It's difficult. It's agonizing. We all likely as safety professionals go through that. But what if I was to tell you all your document needs is 5 parts?
Really? That's it?
That's it. 5 parts. We've talked about the different ingredients that go into a document. Let's talk about 5 parts, or a 5-course meal if you want. I don't want to delay it too much longer, but let's get into it. Really and truthfully, your document, as I said, only needs 5 parts. You need a purpose. It's an administrative control. So why are you writing it? What is the purpose behind it? For this scenario, we're going to be talking about using a stepladder. You're going to need to include what you do as a pre-activity, your focused activities, or what the safe work document is addressing, and of course, those post-activity tasks. And you're going to have appendices. So that's it. 5 parts. That's it. So let's look at them each independently. Now, the first thing is the purpose. Why is the document needed? Now, we all know it's to comply with legislation. Don't bother writing it's to comply with legislation. That's not the point. The point is to work safely. So your purpose statement might look something like this. This document is intended to provide the reader with all of the procedures and processes necessary to perform tasks safely while using a stepladder.
That sounds simple enough. Let's just do that.
There you go. That's simple. You also, within that purpose statement, might want to reference other supporting documents or other processes that this document supports. For instance, this document also applies to the Working at Heights program, something to that effect. Above all and beyond all, keep it simple. Remember, English likely isn't everybody's first language, so the simpler you keep it, the better off you are. Now, the next thing you want to look at is, as I said, those pre-activity tasks. These are the safe work practices. Now, if you're unsure what I mean by safe work practices, I'll leave a link up in this corner, and you can see what I mean. I've left some terminology in another video regarding safe work guides, safe work guidelines, safe work procedures, safe work practice, and it helps to simplify anything. But these are your safe work practices. They're typically the things that you do prior to any kind of activity, such as selecting the right tool for the job. This case might be selecting the right stepladder for the job, inspecting the stepladder before use, making sure your area is clean, demarcating or delineating your area so that it's not accessible to all of the traffic in the workplace. You want to be simple. Keep it bullet points if possible. Avoid complexity. Keep it simple, silly, whatever. Now, the next thing is your document is going to be addressing a certain set of tasks while you're using the stepladder. So the stepladder is going to have some original equipment manufacturer guides to it, such as ensuring the legs are spread apart properly, the spreaders are fully extended and locked, don't use this step or this step as a step, etc. All of those original equipment manufacturer points should be put in these focused tasks and anything else that's used in a normal best practice for your industry. Use the hierarchy of controls. Now we're talking about a stepladder, so there's only so much in the hierarchy of controls that you can add to it. So you make sure that if there's any tasks that are also added to it, that you include any engineering controls, any safe work processes that are associated with the tasks that you're going to perform up on the stepladder. Now, the other thing, this should be a chronological step-by-step instruction. We as human beings like everything to flow. We like it in a linear flow. We don't want to go here, 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 here. You get the idea. Keep it in a good linear flow from start to finish. Now, the next thing is you have the post-activity tasks. These are also safe work practices that you do post those focused activities. Things like removing barriers, cleaning up your work area, closing your stepladder, store it appropriately. You might have any kind of post-use checklist that you might fill out. Say you did something and you damaged the stepladder between here and there. You might have to have a out-of-use tag or sticker for it. So those would be those post-activity safe work practices. You also want to include things like, do you have to address the job hazard assessment because you found a new hazard in a new control, or a field level hazard assessment? So it should also include those review activities of the existing documents that you might need to address. Finally, the appendices. These are where all the kind of boring stuff goes. Forms and checklists. You don't want to have to flip through a bunch of forms and checklists to get to the procedures. So put them in the back, put them in the appendices. You want to include any bibliography or citations, and including if you have to reference other legislation, it should go in there. You also want to, if you've borrowed from other authors, give them credit, cite them in your document, and provide their credit in the bibliography. You also want to have a revision tracking. If you've reviewed documents, and this is a new document to replace an older one, you want to make sure that you reference that within the appendices. And now keep in mind, some organizations like that referenced in the purpose statement as well. I'll leave that with you. Finally, you want to add authorship and credits. Be proud of the work you've done. Put your name to the document, and if anybody helped you, give them credit as well. Okay? Now, just to recap, once again, a good, clear purpose statement, nice, clear language. Your pre-activities or your pre-task activities that you're going to do, the focused activities, and then the post-task activities. And then finally, your appendices. It's not that difficult. Add your appendices last and put all of that, like I said, boring stuff in there. It doesn't have to be difficult. Keep it simple. Far too often, too many people make things difficult and they don't need to. So really and truthfully, like I said, 5 parts, that's it. Now, if you liked and you appreciate the video, do me a favor, just let me know. Click that like button down below. And if you haven't done so, maybe click that subscribe button. I appreciate all of the interaction I get, including any comments, negative, positive, or neutral. I appreciate all the comments I get, so keep them coming. Thank you very much. Until we see each other again, and I really, really hope we do, don't just think about safety. Don't just talk about safety, but be a leader. Be a safety influencer. Provoke safety wherever you are. Okay? Take care. Bye for now.